Hello, you lovely people. This is me, the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar, and welcome to Rajshri Food. Today, let's look at basic cooking. The recipe for the day: Rumali Roti, literally translated to handkerchief-like Indian classic bread. Let's begin. Rumali Roti, well, for the uninitiated, needs a lot of expertise. But today's recipe, I'm going to simplify Rumali Roti for you almost forever. What I'm going to do is make a mixture of milk with sugar and salt, and then add in the flour. In this case, all-purpose flour, which is refined flour, and atta, which is whole wheat flour, and make a soft and pliable dough. So let's begin with milk. I'm deliberately using warm milk so that the sugar and the salt dissolves into this before the addition of the flours. Sugar and salt. Let's mix this well and ensure that the sugar dissolves before adding in any other ingredient. The sugar has dissolved. Let's add in refined flour and whole wheat flour. Let's bring all of this together. Once all of this comes together, I'm going to scrape all of this, move it back into the bowl, and knead this with our hands. And only if required, we're going to add in some more water. And this really depends on the dryness of the flour. Depends on really how much water it's going to absorb. Because eventually, when you keep kneading this, the gluten will start developing in the wheat flour and, of course, the refined flour. And that's when you get the most amazing, soft and pliable dough for the Rumali Roti. Once all of this comes together, I'm going to clean the bowl like so and transfer the dough onto the workbench. The idea is to push and pull like so. You hold it from the bottom, you push it away from you and pull it back. Continue doing this for at least 10 to 12 minutes. If you have a processor, put that to use and thank it later. Our dough is done and ready. Let's collect all of it together like so. Check for its softness. That's exactly how we want this. Let's collect it again and keep it in a bowl. Cover this with a cloth and keep it aside for at least 15 to 20 minutes. If you can keep it longer, absolutely nothing like it. Let's keep this aside and let's now start prepping for the roasting of the Rumali Roti. Let's do that. All of us have something like this in our homes. This is a normal kadai that we generally use for making sabzis and vegetables. Rumali Roti generally is made on top of this upturned kadai. We generally cook it like so. In this case, we're going to upturn it and place it on top of the stove. Well, once this just kind of begins to heat up, we're going to temper this. So a cup full of water. Let's quickly check on the dough. We take some dusting flour and divide this into lemon-sized balls. Let's keep the remaining dough aside and let's concentrate on just one of these dough balls. We press these like so and roll this nice and thin. The whole idea of making a Rumali Roti is to ensure that it gets sheeted absolutely thin, and that's the beauty of a good Rumali Roti. Well, Rumali Roti also, if you see, requires a lot of skill because now if you see, I flipped it at the back of my palm, and now with these flips like so, the size will keep getting slightly bigger, and in the bargain, the Rumali Roti also starts turning out to be nice and thin. The whole idea is you flip it at the back of your palm and you flip it back at the back of the first palm, and you keep continuing this process without tearing the Rumali Roti with your thumb or with your fingers. Now this would require a little practice. Now this you can do, of course, when you start making Rumali Roti regularly at home, but otherwise just getting it back on the board with a rolling pin and sheeting it nice and thin is just perfect. Well, eventually they also flip it mid-air like so and try to hold it. Of course, this all requires skill, this all requires practice, this requires experience at the Rumali Roti station. I'm doing this after several years, so this may take a little time, but slow and easy with a lot of patience is the way to go. Let's temper this pan. You roll this nice and thin, almost you can start seeing your fingers through the dough. This straight goes onto the upturned kadai. A quick few flips. And your Rumali Roti is done and ready. That the Rumali Roti is done, you can flip it back onto the workbench and fold it right here. What's important is to avoid accidents while working in the kitchen. Let's make some more. With this, our Rumali rotis, literally like a handkerchief, are done and ready. Make this for your family, make this for your friends. In case you do not want to get too adventurous with a kadai, make the same thing using a skillet or a pan. This is me, the Bombay chef, Varun Inamdar, signing off. Bye for now.